Hey, what's up everybody? Yeah, I'll be starting to talk about WoW stuff in like, I don't know, 15 minutes. Just waiting for viewers to get here and until then. Yeah, this is my monthly stream. I only stream like once a month right now. And basically gonna go over like all the new changes and updates to joanasworld.com. And discuss this new stuff that's happening for my leveling guides, stuff like that. So yeah, the Alliance guide, not much has changed since my monthly updates. It's still being tested out and being tweaked and stuff like that. And it will be released once the beta is out, which will probably be out pretty soon, I would think. Like, I think the classic beta is, like, gonna happen really, really soon. Like, I think it's gonna be out probably this month, if not next month. The alpha is currently out right now, but only available to internal testing employees at Blizzard. When will I make it not free anymore? I'm still trying to figure out how to go about monetizing it. I don't know yet. I think there will be a members area. Originally my plan was having the web guides all for free and then doing an in-game guide thing for that, for the members area, but I don't know yet. I can't have a members area on launch, so I'm still trying to figure things out. Is this Hexen? Yes, this is Hexen, yep. I used to have a lot of fun playing this game back in the 90s, cooperatively, like with 2 or 3 other players on a local LAN. It was a lot of fun. I think I'm going to play Classic for months. I think so. I mean, my plan is to put a lot of time into it. I don't exactly know like how much endgame like level 60 content I'm going to do, how much time I'm going to be devoting to that versus like speed leveling stuff. I mean, what I do is speed leveling, so I can see myself doing a lot of speed runs for other classes. I mean, there's a lot of speed running to be done with that game. There's years of speed running that could be put into that, just from 1 to 60. But I mean, I would like to put a little bit of time into the endgame level 60 content, at least a little bit. There's a portal right here. Okay. I was like, where do I go?
Greetings, mortal. Are you ready to die?
This game is called Hexen. It was released in 1994 or 1993? From Raven Software, and uses the Doom engine, the almighty Doom engine. The Doom engine is actually considered a very special game engine because it's like one of the first game engines that actually blew me away as far as graphics goes. Like, when I first played the shareware version of Doom, I have never seen anything like that before in my life. Like, as far as, like, graphic fidelity and, like, 3D gaming goes. So you may think this game looks like crap, but back in 1993, this game was, like, cream of the crop as far as graphics were. Leveling Warlock at the moment, nice. Are you doing it on the Horde side or the Alliance side? Actually, right now, for the last couple of days, I have been implementing the Warlock steps into my Horde leveling guide. And that should be done within a week, I would think. I'm implementing all the Warlock stuff, including all the minions and all the Felsteed mount and all that good stuff. Should be implemented pretty soon. That's what I'm working on right now. The thing about Hexen is kind of like a maze. You gotta figure out where to go and like get keys, open up doors in different zones and stuff. I mean, it's kind of fun, but you get lost a little bit. And I'm still waiting for Sigil to come out. That game, it keeps getting delayed. It's been delayed like 3 times now, and I've been waiting to play that. Sigil is John Romero's new Doom episode he's been working on, and it's considered the 5th episode of Doom. The Doom engine is a very special game engine because, at least in my history, the first time I seen the Doom engine, I think was on like a 286 PC, which is pretty slow. I was playing the Doom shareware on a 286, and it was only going like, I think like 7 frames a second or something like that, but it still just blew me away by what the game engine was capable of doing compared to anything else out at the time. And this game here also uses the Doom engine as well. The Doom engine actually, it made game. I think Hexen might be the last official game that was made from it. Doom 2 came out around the same time though. Another game that came out in the early 90s that had a really good game engine that also blew me away as far as graphics goes was Comanche 1. The very first Comanche game. I played that, I'm like, wow, this is also really awesome. That was actually a voxel engine. That was one of the very first game engines ever that uses voxels. But yeah, I mean, that just goes to show, like, using cells or voxels could make really good looking games. And actually, I think that's the future of gaming too. Like, if you want to, like, that's the thing, like, you watch Comanche 1 back in like 1991 or something like that. The game engine is actually the future of game engines that no one really uses today, because instead of voxels, everyone's using polygons for almost every single game out there. But in the future, it's predicted that like games will turn back to voxel type engines or cells engines instead of polygons, because actually voxels is more natural than polygons are. So if you want to actually see a really early game that's going to use future engine technology, check out Comanche 1. Yeah, I've only been streaming like once a month lately because all the work I do is just offline work. I can't stream where I'm playing, it's illegal, and I'm also just doing a lot of guide writing stuff, so there's not really a sense of me streaming all the time. I don't really have time to do that right now. But when the classic beta comes out, I could be streaming a lot more. Alright, since my last stream, I have done a run on a server. Well, anyway, there was a private server that launched about a month ago called Netherguard, and I played on that server actually, and I played on that server all the way to level 48, and then I dropped out. When I played on it to basically warm up, to basically practice, and also condition myself to see if I'm able to actually play 18 hours a day. And I pretty much was able to do it all right. The reason why I dropped out was because the Solithus quests weren't in the game. The Hinterlands Raven Tusk quests weren't in the game. There was just a lot of missing quests. The Thorium Point quests weren't in the game. There's just a lot of missing quests in different areas, so that's what made me decide to drop out. I wanted to practice for my classic WoW launch run, and I have a feeling those quests are going to be in the game at the start. Yeah, so this was a server. Dime, he was also a hunter. He dropped out at level 55. And he was generally a few levels above me the entire time until he dropped out at level 55. I dropped out at level 48. At this point in time, I was like, when I hit 40, there was like, I think there was a couple other players on the server that were about my level, and they were logged out at the time. There was a horde mage. I think he might be even in the chat here. His name was LMG something. He was like 5 levels above like everybody, but he dropped out at like level 38 due to, I think, being ganked constantly. And the server first guy, he was an Alliance mage. AoE grinded his way to 60. He was a server first on that. But yeah, this run also made me realize that the fastest class in the game is generally an AoE grinding mage. As long as you don't get ganked constantly or people try to, you know, take your spot. But yeah, I found this item. I took a screenshot. I'm like, what the heck is that? Empty tainted ooze jar. I wanted to look this thing up because I didn't know what it was. I think I got this thing before in the past. I'm like, what is that? Yeah, Eplios. Yeah, this guy was another hunter who was about at my same level. He was usually like a level or two above me the entire time. Yeah, LMGD1. Yeah, he streamed his attempt and he dropped out level 38. This is after I quit, like when I threw in the towel because of all the missing quests in the game. I'm like, I'm gonna go goof off for a little bit. So I went to Wetlands and just kind of harassed some Alliance players for a little bit. It's for fun. I didn't know what else to do with the character. I wasn't planning on playing him any longer than that, so just do some random things. Do you think having a partner is optimal for leveling? Yeah, duo leveling is very efficient in Classic WoW, but I don't know if it's exactly faster than solo leveling. Like if you're just doing mage AoE grinding or hunters, just speed leveling with hunters, that is generally probably faster than duo leveling, I would think. Alright, so on the tips and tricks page, I made a lot of adjustments to this page. I reorganized this entire page, and I actually put headings and headers for each thing. Instead of just having a number, they're now having headers. I've also added a couple tips for the hunter class, talking about attack speed for bows and guns and which is better, bows or guns, and what's the difference. So this is all new content here that I put in here. It's worth reading if you don't understand how, generally you want a slower attack speed for your bow or your gun, and I explain here why. And I also have some new hotkeys. I have some different hotkeys that I'm using now. I changed my auto shoot hotkey from Control 3, which I actually still use. It still had that hotkey to that, but I changed it to the middle mouse button here. I thought that was a nice change because pressing Control 3 for auto shoot was kind of getting annoying. On the Teldrassil section, I added a cooking quest here. Yeah, right here. This is a new quest I just put in the guide just like a week ago, or a couple weeks ago. I didn't know about this quest because I normally don't accept cooking. Like when I'm making these guides and stuff. I don't get the professions. I just don't use them. But if you get the apprentice cook, then you get a really easy quest to turn into a quest here, and then you do this, and then you can do another one in Aberdeen, level 12. So that's also included into the guide as well. But yeah, Aberdeen's not available yet. It will be soon though once the beta's out. Also in Elwyn Forest, there is new route change when you're going back and forth between these farms here. I do a new route change now where I have reduced the number of runs that you need to do back and forth, which should save about a minute or so. So this has been reorganized to be more efficient recently. Also, this list here of the Alliance zones has actually been changed. This is an inaccurate list actually right now. I've actually on the actual version it's been tweaked around recently. Zones have been swapped and stuff. So this isn't exactly what it's going to be. Just to let you know on that. I dotted out these venom tail scorpions here, and I've also made a few adjustments in the way you do the quest. You don't have to finish it. Like I said, on step number 3, it's now start working on, whereas before I said finish. Do the entirely. Now it's just start working on this and then do lost but not forgotten. So just a little change in that because you can finish finding the antidote later on when you're over here. Just a little change on that. Will the Alliance guide be ready for Classic? Yes, it will definitely be ready for Classic. Yeah, it'll probably be ready once the beta's out pretty soon. I predict the beta is going to be out within a month or so, I would think. And I'm going to have my Alliance guide ready for that once that's out for you guys to test it. As you can see here, I am currently, what I've been working on for the last few days is implementing the Warlock steps into my Horde leveling guide. And I'm currently up to like level 30 right now. But yeah, it's currently in the works, and this should be done within a few days, I would think. Right now I have the Warlock selected right now, so it's going to be showing all the Warlock steps in purple. Light purple, I guess. Do I plan on streaming during Classic launch and beta? Yes, I will be streaming as much as I can, yep. Yep. And also, recently, I've been trying to figure out if my Classic launch run is going to be on a PvE server or a PvP server, and the more I keep thinking about it, the more I'm realizing that I should just do it on a PvE server. Because that way, that would solve a lot of issues with, I can stream to my heart's content and not worry one single bit about worrying about cutting my stream off from people ganking me. Plus, it's like, I'm trying to speed run and get to level 60 first anyway, and that's like the goal of the run, is to get to 60 as fast as possible, and it's probably easier to do that if I'm doing it on a PvE server, so I might just go on a PvE server. I've been saying this whole time I was going to do it on a PvP server, but I'm still kind of undecided on that. But yeah, I think I might just do PvE and just call it a day on that. That way I'd be able to stream without having no worries whatsoever. PvP or it doesn't count, yeah. I mean, PvP can be more fun, I do admit, but it kind of defeats the purpose of speedrunning. So when you hit level 20, all the other classes I have you go into Thunderbluff to get your new spells and abilities because it's just a little bit faster to do that. But only the Rogue and the Warlock. There's no Warlock or Rogue trainer in Thunderbluff. So you have to go to Orgrimmar to get your level 20 abilities. So that's what I have here now. I just now have this. So now Warlocks and Rogues will now be directed to go to Orgrimmar at level 20 to get your spells abilities, and also to accept the Ashenvale Hunt quest from this Warcaller Gorlich guy that patrols all the way around the town. And the Warlocks also start the quest to get the Succubus. So I have all that stuff down in there. All the steps for that are down in there, and it's like if you go up here and you change it to any other class other than Rogue or Warlock, like if you just choose a Warrior or a Hunter, we'll choose a Warrior, the guide will direct you to go to Thunderbluff instead. The whole image and the whole steps and stuff are changed for that. So I just made this yesterday. That was a good change too, because like before, you Rogues and Warlocks were directed to go to Thunderbluff as well, and there's no trainer there, and it was kind of messy, so that's been changed finally. Also, at level 19, I finally have players now do Hezrol Bloodmark. This quest comes after... yeah, Verog the Dervish. Before, I had you skip Hezrol, but now Hezrol is now in the guide. He was never in my guide in the past. But I was able to tweak the route so that once you go down here, you're also doing the Altered Beings quest where you gotta kill turtles. So that flowed better, so you're able to go down here, kill the turtles, find Hezrol Bloodmark, kill him as well, and then you turn in Hezrol later on in the guide, once you're at level 20, when you're on the way to Stonetown Mountains. Actually, I think it's the last one right over here. Yeah, step number 9. You turn in Hezrol as you're going into Stonetown Mountains. So all that stuff, I was able to fit the whole thing in there very nicely, finally. Classic DB, white. Actually, everything used to be pointed to Classic DB in the past. So yeah, the reason why I switched to Twin Star is because it had more accurate patrol paths on the map for like NPCs patrolling around. Also, like other mobs were more accurately listed out. You know, these little dots here on the map. Like these are just more accurate, like overall. And that was the reason why I switched. Although, for some reason, like, the comments are not always... The comments were better on Classic DB. So, it's kind of a toss-up. I chose the more accurate locations and the mobs on the map versus the comments. But yeah, they're both useful though. I'm hoping that I can switch the Classic WoW head for all the links pretty soon so that there's comments and everything's just more accurate on that. Hopefully I'll be able to do that pretty soon. Alright, so yeah, Hezrol's in the guide. This has been changed. More accurate. So on the Warrior on level 28... Yeah, so when you're level 28 and you're going to Thunder Bluff, I now have players optionally see if they have enough money to purchase a Merciless Axe from this vendor in Thunder Bluff. This is actually a pretty powerful axe for warriors at this level. And if you have the cash to do it, which is I think 3 gold to spare, as it says, then you can buy from this axe merchant in the hut right there. You can get this axe. Just a little minor tweak. Thought was a pretty good addition. So on level 29 and you're going to Hillsbrad, I made a lot of new adjustments to this zone. Actually, I redid this image totally. This is a brand new image here. Redid this image. Added all these mobs that you kill. I also added a new quest and I reworked this entire zone recently. I now have this zone be mandatory. Like before I said if you're already level 30 you can skip it. I realized that doing the zone even if you are level 30 is still efficient because later on you're going to need to grind at level 32 in Shimmering Flats anyway. So doing this will enable you to not need to do that grind. Also, I now have you accept all 3 of these quests when you enter the zone. Before it was just Elixir of Suffering. Now you're also accepting these 2 other ones as well. Because that's how original vanilla WoW worked. You were able to accept all 3 of these quests once you arrive at the Tarn Mill. Some private servers have it so you can only accept Elixir of Suffering and then you have to turn this in to get these other 2. That's not how vanilla WoW worked. And I found that out by watching my own video. I watched my own video when I ran back to Tarn Mill to grab the quest. I'm like, oh, you're able to get all 3 quests like right off the rip. Hey, Pianotorius, thanks for the 8 months. Really appreciate it. Thank you. So right here, boom. All 3 quests are available when arriving at Tarn Mill for the first time. I thought that it was only just Elixir Suffering first and then the other 2 get opened up after that, but that's not how it worked. So I assume that's how Classic WoW is going to work as well. It's pretty cool how I can use my own video that I made in 2006 to actually see what is accurate according to actual vanilla WoW. So that was pretty cool. Also, when you're level 32 going into Shimmering Flats, I recently made a change about it, it was like 2 months ago, where I added Family Tree in here to make sure that this gets accepted. My old guide never included, my original first version of the Horde leveling guide did not include Family Tree at all. And I'm actually still right now confused about this quest because half of the private servers have it so that this quest requires level 33 to be accepted, and half of the private servers require it to be level 32 to be accepted. So yeah, like I was saying, Family Tree, half of the servers have it so the requirement is level 32, the other half is level 33. I don't know which is true. I don't know. My original Horde leveling guide did not include the quest at all, so I assume maybe back then I was smart enough to know that it just was never available at level 32. Because generally, if it's level 33 requirement, I can't really fit it into the guide. I simply cannot fit it into the guide. It just doesn't fit into the route. But if it's level 32, I can fit it into the route. So yeah, I'm a little confused about this quest right now. It's in the guide. I may take it out. I don't know. I got to see what Classic WoW's actual requirement level for that is going to be. So I've been getting emails about that saying, hey, I can't get the quest, it requires level 33, and that's because, like I said, half of the private servers have different level requirements for family tree. So I don't know right now on that. Oh, you're doing another speedrun. Whoa, level 57. Holy crap. Yeah, I need to do another one myself pretty soon. I'm kind of hesitant to even start on one right now because I have a feeling the beta is going to be out for Classic WoW like sometime this month. And I'm currently implementing the Warlock steps into my Horde leveling guide, and that's going to take, I don't know, a few more days or something. Then I also want to start implementing possibly another class into my guide. So I'm like, I got stuff to do. Like, my to-do list is pretty big, and I do want to do another practice run sometime soon. But well, I'm kind of like waiting on the beta to do it on. But actually, the first run I do in the beta probably won't even be a run. It'll probably be tweaking my guide. I'll probably be going through the game slowly and just sitting down and making tweaks everywhere to make everything accurate for Classic WoW. And then once I get to 60, then I'll go through it again as a practice run, I think. I think that's how I'm going to approach it. Okay, so in the Deathless section, at step number 3, I now put this in. I now put this string of text in here. This is new. Water breathing potion only, or if you're undead. So there's this quest here where you go under the water and you loot these cages and stuff. I now make it so that you should only do this if you actually have a water breathing potion with you. If you don't have a water breathing potion or you're not undead, then don't do it. It simply is not worth the time, and you're better off just grinding mobs instead. So yeah, that's a new little change I made. Also, Kodo Roundup, I recently realized that the quest can be done in such a manner that saves time. Before I have you just run back and forth taking these Kodos, that is actually kind of slow. That's actually slower than grinding on just mobs. So I currently have not made a change yet. I still need to test it out, but you can do the Kodo Roundup by doing it in parts. Like you take one Kodo here, like when you first enter the zone and you get the quest, and then you go up here and then you take one Kodo back here, and then you go do step number 7 over here. So then later on in the guide, you go down here and you kill these things over here, and then you go, there's one Kodo spawn right there. You take him back to the hut, and then you go to step 3 and 4 and 5, 6, and then later on in the guide, when you go over here, and then I think it's like step number, I can't remember exactly, but you're going back down here to step number 2. Then you can go back here and tame that Kodo again, and then go back and bring him back again. So it's actually like, it's kind of weird. Like I may be implementing the Kodo Roundup quest differently in the future. I still need to test it out more, but as it is right now, just going back and forth, it's actually kind of slow. It's actually slower than grinding. But if you actually take the Kodos in a certain strategic order, then it's actually a good way to do it. And I'm working on re-implementing that quest into the guide. Yeah, I will be marking the Kodo locations and stuff. Yeah, I do have plans to re-implement that quest into the Deathless section. But right now it's not, because it still needs tested out. When you're level 46 and you're going to Undercity, this is a new hunter information right here. You can actually upgrade your quiver right here in the War Quarter to a heavy quiver, which is a 14-slot bag. I didn't even know about this. I actually just found this out like a couple weeks ago. And you can't get this anywhere else in the game unless you're Alliance or if you get it from the auction house. But you can buy this from one vendor. One Horde vendor sells this item right here, and it's on the path of the route. You go here and then you go down here and do this stuff down here. So this was on the way. And before, I didn't do this. And that one practice run I did like 2 months ago, I skipped this. I didn't even know about this. I skipped it and I stuck to like an 8-slot bag the entire time. Like when I hit 60, I still had an 8-slot quiver bag. I didn't even know about this. So you can get this quiver right there. So that's now into the guide there. How often do I upgrade my bow? Well, that just depends on if I find upgrades or not. There is there is quest rewards. Like I think if you complete the Nezingwary quest, you get a nice bow. There is numerous bows upgrades throughout the run. Also, when you're going to banks and you're turning in, or you're putting items into the bank and taking items out of the bank, I now have it so that once you switch positions, where instead of you're putting something in and then you change this to taking something out, I now have it so that it's underlined. Like every time I say when it's time, when you're done putting the stuff you need into the bank, and then it's time to take the stuff out of the bank, I now underline it. So it just makes it easier to follow, a little less confusing. A little change I made throughout all the banking stuff there. Glad to see I'm back to work. Well, I still work every day. I mean, I'm always working on my guides every day. I just don't stream every day, though. I mean, it's not really a point of me streaming right now every single day, because I need to spend my time working on making my guides the best that they can be. But yeah, I'll probably start streaming more once the beta is out and Classic launches. So at level 56. So when you're doing this quest at this barn in Western Plaguelands, yeah, right here. There's this quest chain you do in this house and you go in this barn. I think it starts in this barn. You go in the barn and you get this quest called this diary laying on the ground that starts Dawson's diary, and then you kill this wandering skeleton, and then you click on the outhouse and get locked away, kill this farmer Dawson, and then to turn in the quest, I have a new tip now where you can turn the quest in by standing outside of the house. You can stand outside of the house and turn the quest in by clicking on this thing inside the house from outside of the house. I felt like that was important to add because actually going into the house is kind of hard, because there's a lot of like scarlet mobs in front of the house, like battling and stuff. At least not all the time, but some of the time. And it can make going into this house kind of difficult, so you can turn this quest into standing outside of the house. At least this house working on the private servers. And the old client. This may not work for Classic WoW. I don't know yet, but we'll find out. And if it don't work, then I'll just take it out. But I think it should work. I don't see why not. So yeah, that's just a new little tip I added recently. Okay, so we go on to level 58 in this Lithus section. Yeah, right here. Okay, so right here, during my practice run, one of the deaths I had, I had 20 deaths during the practice run that I did it was like 2 months ago now. But I had like 20 deaths in that run. There was a lot of deaths. And one of the deaths was right here to that blue mob, and I finally marked them out on the map. Before, there was no marking of these mobs. These mobs are actually stealth elite. They are elite and they're also stealth. So like when I went to go back to this cave to go turn this quest in, I'm like hugging the outside of this big place here. You don't want to go inside of it, because if you do, there's a lot of elite mobs here. But there's actually a few elite stealth mobs that are on the way, and avoiding them is very important, because I died here. I died here during my practice run, and I tried to run away. A feigned death was resisted, and I died. So because of that, I marked these guys out, and I put a path in here. So this is a new stuff here. This is a new path, and mobs are finally marked out for that. Am I worried about server issues affecting my leveling? Well, I don't exactly know what you mean by that. You mean PvP aspects? Actually, recently, I've been thinking more in the lines of just doing a PvE server instead, so I don't have to worry about anything like that. I mean, the goal of speedrunning is to get to level 60 as fast as possible, and I realize that one of the ways to do that is just do a PvE server and not have to worry about that like at one bit. I can stream to my heart's content as much as I want, and I'm just thinking about doing a PvE server instead. But there's also issues with that. Like I've already Tips Out. I don't know if you guys know who Tips Out Baby is. I'm sure a lot of you do, but he's also streams on Twitch. He's also a content creator. He asked me if I want to be in his guild home, and I said sure. I had told him that I think it was like a month or two ago. They're all going to be on a PvP server, so if I do a PvE server, that means I won't be able to play on their server. So it's like, I'm confused about that. I don't know what to do. I don't know yet. What do you guys think? Should I play in a PvE server and not have to worry about cutting my stream? And not have to worry about, and then I'll probably get a better play time. But then there'd be people saying, oh, you pussy, you can't do that. You gotta do a PvP server. So yeah, I don't know yet. I'm still trying to figure it out. But yeah, see, the thing is though, there's different ways to play WoW. Most people play WoW to have, you know, to have an experience of PvP. If you're speed leveling, PvP is actually a hindrance to your ability to get, you know, server first, world first, best play time, all that stuff. It actually interferes with that. And that style of play could be it could not be efficient to do, is what I'm trying to say. And I have a feeling though, all the world firsts are probably going to be on the PvE server. And I have a feeling the world first in Classic WoW is probably going to be an AoE mage grinding to 60 on a PvE server, probably utilizing some kind of drug to keep them up for 3 days in a row. That is probably, if you guys want to know the formula for getting world first to 60, that's it probably. Just do a PvE server, play a mage, do AoE grinding, and take a drug that will allow you to stay up for like 3 days in a row. And right there's your formula, right there for world first to 60. But yeah, I'm not going to be doing that because I'm going to be playing a hunter. I'm going to be sleeping every night. I'm not going for world first. I might be server first to 60 on my realm, maybe, possibly. But yeah, I'm not going to like do any kind of drugs like that. Yeah, meth is usually the drug of choice if you want to stay up for days on end. But that's really harmful to your health, and it's also illegal, and it's like you don't want to do that. But I'm sure there's going to be people doing that though. I can't do stuff like that. Oh, so this is on Netherguard, the server that I played on. It was like a month ago. This is the results of the first and second and third place. Ricardo, who was an Alliance mage, got to 60 in 3 days and 10 hours on the Alliance side. And Tape, also Alliance, got 4 days and 23 hours as a hunter. And then another mage on the Alliance side was third place and got 4 days and 23 hours with a mage. Ricardo also streamed his entire run on Twitch. His name is Joker something on Twitch. He did AoE grinding. There's also a Horde player that was also like neck and neck with this guy at the time, but he dropped out level 38 due to being ganked constantly. He just quit, unfortunately. I think LMGT, I think he's probably in the chat. But yeah, that's the results of that. Yeah, it was kind of fun. But yeah, I dropped out level 48 due to just lack of quests in the game. The Raven Tusk quests weren't in there. Thorium Point weren't in there. Silithus wasn't in there. And I think I might be missing a few other things. There's a few Feralist quests that weren't in the game. So I just dropped out. Because I have a feeling Classic WoW is going to have all those quests available at launch. At least I strongly feel like they are, and they should. I feel like they should, and I feel like they are. But who knows, I could be wrong. Also, recently, over the last month, I have decided to take it upon myself to create a Wall of Fame for this game, for Classic WoW. And it's going to be shown on this page here. Basically, the server first results across all the realms in Classic WoW. And I show here on this page how I'm going to put this page together and how players will be able to submit their server first to 60. It shows in detail what you need to do in order to submit your time. So yeah, you might want to check this out. If any of you guys plan to speed level at Classic launch and you happen to be server first to 60 and want to have a record of your first to 60, then this is how you can submit it to my site right here. Basically, you just take a screenshot of the who list once you hit 60 along with your playtime, and then you put it on your realms form as you're logged in with your character. And you want to do that as soon as possible too, because that also will determine world firsts. You want to make that forum post ASAP, because that timestamp on your forum post will determine how long of a time span you got to 60 with that class. And I'm going to use that time to figure out all the world firsts. And recently I made a Reddit post about that, and it got it got 1,000 upvotes on that. Yeah, right here. Yeah, this Reddit post I made 13 days ago got 1.1k upvotes. And a lot of people say, hell yeah, let's do it. Good idea. No one else is doing this. Glad that I am. So, yep. I actually tried to see if I can get Wowhead to do this first, and they just didn't respond. I tried to see if Blizzard can do it. Now, I knew for almost like 99.99% chance that Blizzard is not going to make any kind of Wall of Fame for this at all. Even though I did ask them on the forum. I kind of made a fool of myself asking them about it. Because, I mean, I just knew like 99.999% chance that Blizzard is not going to make this Wall of Fame. But if they did it, though, they have access to all the accurate information for that. And this is the forum post I made on that. I made this like a couple weeks ago. And I got different responses on this forum. Like, everyone on Reddit was like, hell yeah, let's do it. But on this one, they're like, no, keep that esports garbage out of Classic. I had a feeling that a lot of people were going to be upset about asking this on the official WoW forum. I mean, there's some people in here that were like, let's do it, it's a good idea. But no one wanted to. There was no Blizzard response, and I didn't expect that either. Actually, one of the main reasons why I made this post is to see if I can get someone else to do the Wall of Fame, like Wowhead or another bigger website. Because they have like bigger communities there, and they can probably handle all that information better. I mean, there's going to be a lot of realms for this game launching for Classic WoW. Not just for like the US, but there's also like Australian, Europe, and other different, realms. There's going to be a lot of realms. And I want to gather every single realm all over the world for this Wall of Fame. It's going to be a lot of work. I'm probably going to have to take like two or 3 weeks, like after I'm done doing my Classic WoW launch run, to make this page here for this Wall of Fame. It's going to be a lot of work. But since no one else decided to do it, then I'm going to be the one to do it. Yeah, it's not even esports. It's speed running. It's speed leveling. It's not esports. Some people don't know their terminology. Oh, also, I have a lot of text files and like old images and stuff from like 2006, from like the really old speed runs I did through World of Warcraft. I go down here and if I click on all my vanilla WoW attempts on Malfurion, which is this one right here, I actually found a text file detailing when I went to sleep, or how many hours of sleep I had each day, and what levels I were after each day. And here's the information on that. So this is Malfurion. This is what you're seeing here. And I did this. This was my second run 260 I ever did in 2005, and this was the how many hours of sleep I had each day and how many days it took me to do it. It took a 9-day span. The first day I got to level 21 and slept 4 hours, and then I woke up and I got to level 21 to 29 and then slept 6 hours. Then on the third day I went from 29 to 36 and slept 4 hours. And then the fourth day I went from 36 to 41 and slept 5. And then fifth day 41 to 46 and slept 6. Sixth day 46 to 51 and slept 6. Seventh day 51 to 55 and slept 6. Eighth day 55 to 59 and slept 6. And then the final day I went to 59 to 60. That was Malfurion. This is just some interesting information I recently just found. I'm like, whoa, I actually made this. Like, oh, I don't even remember making this little chart here, but I did. Anyway, on the next one, I recorded this one, and these were the results of that. On the first day, I went from 1 to 25, and then I slept 3 hours. And then I woke up and I did 25 to 32, and then slept 5 hours, and so on, as you can see here. And like this day here, I slept 7 hours. That was quite the sleep. And yeah, it took 9-day span. Like both these rooms were a 9-day span. And this one was done in 6 days and 4 hours. Unfortunately, I do not have the other ones. I could not find the other ones that I did. Like all the ones with Joana, I could not find them. Only ones with Mancow. The two ones I did with Mancow, well, there was another one I did with Mancow, that was with the Warlock. The first run I ever did was 10 days and 15 hours. This was the second first to 60 run I ever did, and even though my playtime was like over 10 days, I was still first to level 60 on the entire realm. But this was like back then in February of 2005. This was like shortly after the game came out. It was also on a PvE server. Oh yeah, so I get invited to guilds constantly when I was doing these runs because I'm always like I'm always like the highest level on the server, and I get a lot of strange guild requests. And one of the strangest guild requests I ever received, it made me laugh so hard that I actually took a screenshot and wrote it down. This was the guild recruitment message that I received. Fun and Games is now recruiting. We are a crappy guild that sucks real bad and is full of noobs and ninjas, and we don't expect shit out of you, and you shouldn't expect shit out of us. We have a tabard and we don't have vent TS because we don't want to hear your voice. I remember when I seen that, I'm like, really? You guys are going to invite me to your guild with this message? But yeah, I thought it was kind of funny, so I wrote it down. So if you ever want to make someone laugh, invite someone to your guild just for like a funny message, that made me roll on the floor laughing right there. I will release the Alliance Guide once the beta is out, and definitely will be released once Classic launches. There'll be no doubt about that. Once Classic launches, the Alliance Guide will be available to use. Like definitely, 100%. And also the beta for Classic WoW I think should be out either sometime this month or sometime next month, I think. And once Classic beta is out, as long as all the full 1 to 60 content is available, then I will release the full 1 to 60 Alliance Guide. If they only have, like, say, levels 1 to 30 available, then I will only release the Alliance 1 to 30. It just depends on what the beta is going to be. What's my new unofficial record? 3 days and 22 hours, and I did that like it was like a month ago now. I think it was like 2 months ago now. But that was the first run I did since 2006. I also did a run on Netherguard, but I dropped out at level 48, and that was just kind of like, that was more, I did Netherguard more in the lines of like a practice endurance to see if I can play 18 hours a day. And I think I handled it okay for the most part, but it was like, those things like the third or fourth day in where my throat started flaring up for some reason. Like, what the heck is going on? But I think that was because I was overdoing the caffeine. Like I was taking way too much, I was drinking too much tea, and I think it made my throat flare up. So I think like when I'm gonna do my run, I may not even do any caffeine at all. I just none. Just go sober on it. That like messed with me. Well, yeah. Right now, I'm currently implementing the Warlock stuff into the leveling guide. Oh yeah, one thing about the Fell Hunter, I'm actually implementing the Fell Hunter stuff right now. That's at level 30. Yeah, right here. So I realized that with the Succubus quest at level 20, I was able to fit that into the route. No problem, and that is mandatory because everything is on the way for that. I was able to fit that in perfectly. With the Fell Hunter, that is a different story. And when you're a Warlock getting the level 30 Fell Hunter minion, I explain here that it's optional to get. It actually will slow you down trying to obtain it because it's a lot of running around to do the quest for it. So I have it so it's optional. I even list here if you're speed running or speed leveling, it's recommended to skip this whole quest line. The only drawback about skipping the quest line is that you don't get this box of souls here, which is a 16 slot bag to store your soul shards. That's like the only drawback on that. But I felt like if you're speed leveling, then still like it's better off skipping the whole thing because you don't need the Fell Hunter to speed level from 30 to 60. You can just use the Void Walker for that. So yeah, actually this is right where I stopped. This is right where I stopped. All the Fell Hunter steps will be listed throughout the guide as this: optional Fell Hunter. It'll be listed like that. You'll see like random Warlock steps in here, It'll probably go, it goes all the way into like the mid-30s even. But yeah, all that, it's in the guide and it'll be in there as optional. Because some players just may want to just get the quest and get the box of souls. You know, like 99% of the people using my guide are not really speed leveling, they're just playing the game. So like 99% of them will probably just want to do the Fell Hunter stuff and get the Fell Hunter and get this box of souls as well. So I decided that it would be a good idea to just put it into the guide. But yeah, that's where I left off right now. I will be playing my speedrun in 2006 on Twitch for the 6th time. The 5th time, which was 2.5 months ago, I had a 24-hour ban and a DMCA strike on my account from that, and I think it cut out at like level 40. But I got all that stuff situated. It shouldn't happen again unless for some reason there's a lot of people reporting me. I guess it could happen again. I could get another strike and a ban if I get reported. But if I do, then I'll just send another counter DMCA to Twitch and get that stuff resolved. Yeah, but how I got that resolved was I wanted to at least make sure that I had a message from Blizzard Entertainment saying that what I was streaming was actually allowed. Because when you're dealing with legal stuff, you got to be very careful because it's possible that Blizzard Entertainment may not even want that video to be played on Twitch. Like, I didn't really, they never gave me a reason why I got a DMCA strike and why I got a ban. There was no reason. So I had to investigate it first to figure out what I was playing, if my old speedrun from 2006 is actually allowed to be played on Twitch. That's my first step. That took 2.5 months to get a message on that. That was a message that I needed to get from Blizzard Entertainment. After about 20 emails to Blizzard Entertainment, 20 emails, I finally got a response from somebody saying that that's allowed. Like finally, I got a all I needed was just a simple message saying that you are allowed to do that on Twitch. That's all I needed. And once I got that, I was able to send a counter DMCA to Twitch to get this strike removed and to get that stuff situated on that. So yep, that's all resolved. And you guys will be able to see the run again on Twitch here. Again, finally. And this might be the very last time I play it on Twitch also. It might be the last time ever that it will ever be played on Twitch. Unless for some reason the beta is not out within like a month or so, then I may play it again like a month from now, maybe. It'll be like once a month until the beta is out. When do I think the classic WoW will be released? I think my guess is about the same as most people's guesses, like sometime in August, I think. I mean, that's just my guess. You see that I am older and wiser. Do you think your body and sleep schedule can keep up with another world record for classic release? Well, I just tested my ability to do that on Netherguard like a month ago. I got to level 48. And I dropped out of the server. One of the whole reasons why I did this run is to see if I was physically capable of doing it. And for the most part, I was able to do it. It was very exhilarating. Doing these runs are always really exhilarating. They're like, I get like a lot of like adrenaline pumping from doing this stuff. But yeah, I was able to do it. I still slept like 6 or 7 hours a day though. I didn't really treat this like a full out. Like I needed to be there constantly every single minute. I took breaks. I ate like twice a day or something like that. I took my time. I wasn't in too much of a hurry to get back to my PC each time. Because it's just like a private server and I didn't really care that much for it. But yeah, Classic WoW I'll probably be trying to. This is actually also a last minute decision jumping on this realm. I wasn't even planning on doing this run here at all. Like I wasn't even, it was like a last minute decision. Like I woke up, the server was gonna launch, I felt really good physically, I'm like okay, let's just jump on it and do it. It was a last minute decision just doing this run. But yeah, I wanted to see if I was able to do it. So my sleep schedule, yeah, I mean I should be able to handle classic launch. As far as getting like a world record goes, I don't think that's going to happen because world records are probably going to happen from mages, I think. I think mages are the fastest levelers in Classic WoW due to their AoE grinding abilities. I used to think hunters are the fastest, but I think mages are the fastest now, and that's because of their AoE grinding. You can get a good AoE grinding setup, and you can get to 60 faster than hunters, even like a lot faster too. I mean, like probably by like 15 hours faster. Like mages can get to 60 probably 15 hours faster just doing AoE grinding. Why don't I be a mage then? Yeah, I mean, it's a good question. It's kind of late. I mean, I've been doing all my practicing with hunters, and I would have to like really start going all out and trying to learn the mage. I never even really played a mage before. I got a mage like level 20, and it's like, I don't know. I'm just gonna stick with the hunter. And also, being a mage, if you're doing a mage AOE grinding, then you just using my guide is not. You don't even use my guide for that. You just have your own AOE setup where you're just going to these spots and grinding for like a whole day, like one spot an entire day. That bypasses my entire leveling guide. And like, I want to be able to use my leveling guide and make a video going through my guide and then putting that video up on YouTube and then using that same video and to replace the video that's on my guide right now. Basically, I want to update my video on my guide to my classic WoW launch run. And in order to do that, I have to be a hunter. So yeah, there's just different reasons for that. But yeah, I'm sacrificing the fact of being world first. Plus, I'm not going to be world first anyway because I plan on sleeping every day. Like, I plan on going to sleep like every day, like a normal person. And I won't be able to get world first anyway. So yeah, I'm just going to be a hunter. I mean, going through the game with a hunter is actually really fun. It's actually fun to quest using my guide as a hunter. It's just really fun to do that, or really any class for that matter, except for like mage AoE grinding is like just an odd nature of playing the game. Totally different way to go through the game. You're not really doing the quests. You're just grinding non-stop all the way to 60. I guess until you get Blizzard and all your setup for mage grinding, which is I think of like in the early 20s or something like that. I guess for like the first 20 levels, you can use my leveling guide for the mage. But then if you're doing the AoE grinding stuff, then you're going to do a totally different route for that stuff. Which actually, eventually, I plan on making a mage AoE grinding guide. That's something I want to do in the future. But yeah, that might happen sometime. Oh yeah, again, I made this post on Reddit like 13 days ago. I'm creating a wall of fame for Classic WoW of the server first to level 60. And I explained, you can see this Reddit post right here if you guys want to check it out. And also, if you guys plan on speed leveling to 60 on Classic Launch and you want to submit your time as an official long-lasting record of your ability to get first to 60, then you may want to check this out. But yeah, if you plan on speed leveling to 60 on Classic Launch, I would definitely check out this Reddit post here. And I'm getting a lot of support on Reddit for it. Like, everyone wants to see it. A lot of upvotes on this. So that was pretty cool. All the information is shown right here on this page here. Shows you how to submit your time. Definitely want to check this out. All the criteria that you need to submit your time is right here. Pretty straightforward. I'm also looking for the best play times as well. If you feel you have a record-breaking play time, even if you were not level first to 60, then you can still submit that time to me as well. And this is the criteria that is needed for all that. I think that about does it for the stream. Thanks for watching, everybody.